It's been about a month since the movie Twisters came out, starring Daisy Edgar-Jones and Glenn Powell, and it just got me thinking, whatever happened to disaster movies, and more specifically, natural disaster movies? Hi, welcome back to the Cozy Coffee Corner here at Flickspresso, where we will be unraveling cinema one sip at a time. Earlier on my YouTube channel I already did a reaction video on 2024 summer movie trailers, and Twisters was one of these movies that I reacted to. Sometime later I rewatched the first Twisters movie from 1996 starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, and then immediately the same day I watched Twisters in the cinema. I thought it was a very fun, well, is it a remake? It's not really a remake, it's kind of an unofficial sequel. I don't even know what it is to the original, really. In the original Twisters from 1996, the film focused on a team of storm chasers as they pursued tornadoes to better understand them and improve the early warning systems. The original movie already made a lot of use of CGI, and back in those days CGI wasn't really the same as it is today, of course, but I heard it was pretty groundbreaking for its time. And the sequel Twisters has kind of a similar storyline, except it's set in modern day. It's not 1996 anymore, it's 2024. So of course the technology over time has improved, and it's kind of refreshing to see a similar storyline but with modern technology in it. The movie also made some nods to the original, such as the Dorothy thingy, and I don't really think that I have any more to say about it because this is not really a review video. But when I walked out of the theater, it kind of got me thinking, there aren't a lot of natural disaster movies being made nowadays. You know, you've got Moonfall and you've got Greenland. Those are just some examples, but those are pretty much also the only examples that I can name from movies from the past 5 or 6 years that came out. Like, that's not a lot. It really isn't a lot. Then I started researching the topic of natural disaster movies a little bit further, and there was this peak in the 1970s with movies such as The Poseidon Adventure, Earthquake, Airport, The Towering Inferno, among others. It was a really popular genre back then. Then later in the 1990s, the genre was kind of revived a little bit again with movies such as Armageddon, Dante's Peak, Independence Day, Volcano, Deep Impact, you know, a lot of good movies. And one of them was also Twister, of course, how can I forget? And then after the 1990s, it kind of died down again, and I think that's kind of a waste because natural disaster movies are fun. They're fun. What else should they be? They're fun. I think they're fun. Listen, I'm going to tell you something personal. In my early days of video content creation, I was maybe 10, 11, 12 years old maybe, when I first started experimenting with video creation. I did so using Lego. I made these little stop motion animation videos, and these stop motion videos had to have some sort of storyline, right? So what is an easy tool to get a creative storyline and to also be visually creative? And you know, kids being kids, you want to create as much chaos as you like because that's just what being a kid is. So what is an easy tool that you can easily get creative with? Natural disasters. So I made these little videos about Lego earthquake, Lego tsunami, Lego end of the world, Lego whatever. I had so many animated videos of these Lego characters just like escaping the weirdest situations, escaping rising water, escaping volcano, escaping whatever. It kind of awakened my love for video creation a little bit. So I kind of have natural disasters and the entire genre as a whole to thank for that. Really, because without those, maybe I would still have loved it, but my road towards loving it would have been different. Know what I mean? I don't know what it was at that age, but I just had this weird obsession with natural disasters and you know, disaster movies. I remember that Roland Emmerich's movie 2012, where you know, the apocalypse happens and the world ends, and then these characters they escape Los Angeles, which you know, there's a huge earthquake in LA, and then they escape it. Then they're on a plane, and then they're going from place to place to place, and every place keeps on crumbling down because if essentially the whole world is ending. Then there's also some side storyline on a cruise ship with 2 elderly men. It's been a while since I saw the movie, so it's kind of, I'm just kind of rambling on right now. But I watched this movie like 5 times, 10 times. It was one of the first DVDs I owned in my current DVD collection. I really like this movie. Now looking back on it and reading reviews, stuff like that, I realize, okay, maybe 2012 is not the best disaster movie, and maybe it was a bit corny, maybe it was a bit cliche. I get it, but as a 12-year, 13-year-old who likes disaster movies and who likes to create Lego stop-motion movies using natural disasters, 2012 is the perfect example of something to use, because pretty much every natural disaster is used in the movie. And for the past 25 years, we didn't really have another rise of natural disaster movies anymore, and maybe a reason for it is because we've already outdone ourselves in the 90s. Maybe everything that we possibly could have shown was already shown in the previous two peaks, and maybe people aren't creative enough anymore to build further upon those movies. And another reason could also be that it's very natural disasters are also something that can get repetitive and boring if you keep executing it in the same way again and again and again, which I understand. So maybe the reason that they don't really do natural disaster movies anymore is because the audience has grown bored of it, and the audience has gotten sick of it, because they've been delivered pretty much the same movie again and again and again and again and again and again. Tongue twister. Twister, pun intended. And now that it's been a month since Twisters came out, and it's shown to be pretty successful, and it's shown to get good results, I hope that the popularity of this movie, I hope that it kind of makes for a revival of the genre as a whole again. Maybe it's not what we need, but maybe it's what we want. It's what I want. I'm just telling you my personal preference here. I miss disaster movies. So let's start a petition together. Who's in for more natural disaster movies? Because I definitely am. And maybe it's true. Maybe we already have too many of them. And maybe they're all outdone, and maybe they're all getting boring and repetitive, and But still, I think that the natural disaster genre, I think it's a genre that you can be creative with if done correctly. And I think it's a waste that we're not really building further upon it. And that's why I think Twisters is a good beginner, a good opener for a new era of disaster movies. And on that note, I'm going to conclude the video. Please let me know down here in the comments what your favorite natural disaster movie is, and if you're also in for a new era of disaster movies. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and then I'll be seeing you next time.